I know an intern from Iguanabee, the developers that made Kong. Oh, that's. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, not only because the game's bad, but I just read that story about why Rise of Kong is so shitty. They overworked the devs and forced them to basically make it as quickly and as cheaply as possible, to the surprise of no one. So I feel bad for your friend. It took them a year. I'm actually surprised it took them that long. They could have made this in a month if they had just used assets. And it probably would have turned out better. You're telling me a company called Game Mill overworked the devs and forced the game out within a year. Isn't that beautiful? It's always who you least expect. How could a company like Game Mill be bad? I do feel bad for the devs, I really do. It's not like they wanted to make this. Or rather, it's not like they wanted to make this in the state that it released in. They did the same shit too for big rigs. Yeah, you know, we can dive into it real quick. If you guys don't know Game Mill, you know of their work. Game Mill is notorious for, like, actually some of the biggest stinkers the industry has ever seen. Most infamously, big rigs over-the-road racing. Back in the early YouTube days, everyone made a video on this. It was like a rite of passage. I made one. I made a big rigs over-the-road racing video a long time ago. It is, to date, still probably one of the worst games ever made. It's a game that is so fucking bad. If you drive in reverse, you can get infinite speed. Nothing works. Like, it is impressive how bad Big Rigs is. And it shipped. It released. It was a game you could purchase, would have to purchase if you wanted to play it. That's Game Mill. It also led to a meme that was pretty prevalent in its day called Your Winner. That was nothing. It was just an empty plane, and your car was magnetized to it. So if you were going up a mountain, you'd go 90 degrees up that mountain, fucking stick into each and every nook and cranny of it. And this is Game Mill's legacy. 20 years, and they're still able to deliver the same dog shit quality that they were known for 2 decades ago. It's almost inspiring. You'd think in 20 years, they would have some level of... pride's not the right word. Some level of drive to want to make something good, but they just don't. They're perfectly content making nearly unplayable garbage. Let me see if they made one other game I'm about to mention. They did. They also... it's crazy. They are also responsible just this year, not even just this year, just a couple weeks ago, responsible for a horrible dog shit game we played called Avatar Quest for Balance. This is also Game Mill. Just recently streamed this one too. Haven't you played this? Just played this. Because it just came out. The game is only 2 weeks old. I just fucking played it. And they already came back and said, we can do better. This was so good I want to try it for a second time, and then made Rise of Kong. I think if you're going by, like... it's not fair to put them on the same plane as, like, a AAA developer, because they're not. They're not a AAA developer. But if you're just going by studios that make the worst games, Game Mill is at that top of the list. It has to be. It has to be. They have not made a game that isn't abominable and insulting. Playing a Game Mill game is more painful than getting, like, a colonoscopy while being awake and no anesthetic. It's brutal. The games are miserable. For 20 years. 20 years. I'd actually argue they're only getting worse. Because they did make one game that I guess isn't the worst thing the world's ever seen. It's called Big Buck Hunter. I'm sure you've seen this at, like, Dave & Buster's, or if you go to, like, your local dive bar, they probably have this tucked away in a corner somewhere. They did work on a Big Buck Hunter game. The titty one? Well, kind of. It's not, like, real titties or anything, or, like, actual honkers. It's not the selling point of the game, but yeah, there is, I guess, a little bit like that. They are, like, the sole studio that gets these giant IPs to put in for, like, your most beloved franchises. So, they have G.I. Joe, Frozen, all of the Nickelodeon games, Cartoon Network, and where was the other one? Cobra Kai. There it is. This is all Game Mill. Somehow they get the rights to all of these properties to make these games, and they make them as bad as can be. And I don't know why. I don't know why companies choose Game Mill to license with. So they sell to children. Yeah, but you know what sells better to children is a good game. No child is going to get Rise of Kong and recommend it to his friends. It's not going to happen. They'll just play like a Roblox game instead or something, because you get a lot more value and a lot more fun out of it. If you really wanted to sell something to kids, it needs to at least be something somewhat fun. Because the alternatives are... Game Mill almost made me puke. The alternatives are innumerable and free. Roblox custom games, Fortnite custom games, and they're all free. You can't make games like this and expect them to do well in the child space. It's too competitive. You might be able to fool a couple of parents into accidentally purchasing this for their kid's birthday or Christmas and ruin the whole event like the fucking Grinch, but past that, you're not making real long-term sales. Yeah, it is literally a Game Mill. It is a very appropriately named studio. What else do they have coming up? Let me see. I want to see what upcoming games they have. What else can I get excited for from them? NHRA Speed for All is such a great title. I've told this isn't a story, but this is like a regret of mine. I was at a Walmart like 6 years ago and I saw this incredibly awful shirt on display. It said something like, Big Speed made for speed, or something stupid like that, and it was neon green, and I really regret not buying it. And this name just brought that wound back to life and poured salt in it. 3 months ago, Avatar. No! Wait! I totally forgot they're making the Walking Dead game as well! We talked about that months ago! They're making that fucking awful Walking Dead game! Let's go! The Game Mill thrill doesn't stop, baby. It doesn't stop! Yes!
Peggy 18.
It's this pile of shit we looked at a long time ago.
Nobody has to die. Everyone has made it this far.
It has to be conscious, right? Like, they have to be doing this on purpose. You have to try so hard to make a modern game look this bad. There are so many assets you could just borrow. Just pay for them, use them, and it wouldn't look this bad. They have to do it on purpose. God, I can't wait for this.
We've all done the worst kinds of things just to stay alive. We're brothers. Doesn't have to be this way.
This is exciting.
I don't even recognize you anymore.
Jane, you have to help us. What
Spoilers? Not quite.
It's gonna be easy.
Because this changes the story if you want it to. You can be Rick, or you can be this guy who vaguely resembles Shane if he was a lobotomite. So cool. Oh my god, that's Game Mill in a nutshell. That's so good. But Walking Dead, another huge property that for some reason Game Mill gets to abuse. They just have a gluttonous appetite to ruin IP. Even though Walking Dead ruined itself, but like all the other ones they do, Avatar, all that. It's craziness. It's craziness. It has to be some kind of like... I don't want to use the word scam in the legal sense. But like someone at Game Mill must be really persuasive to these like these heads of studios to get these licenses. Like he must be like Lelouch with like the Gios. He's able to convince someone to give them their license one time. It's inexplicable. Because their track record is 20 years of trash. What do the comments on this look like? List of Game Mill games. Yes, please, give us more slop. They probably crapped this game out for less than 20,000 all told. That's peanuts to AMC. Yeah, but you still get anything out of it for AMC except ruining your IP, which a lot of companies care a lot about for obvious reasons. It's why they don't just ship off their IP willy-nilly. It ruins the brand. And Game Mill is like the optimal spot to ruin a brand. It just doesn't make sense. Game Mill is the exception. It's the only place that companies feel comfortable ruining their shit with. I don't get it. You played the NHRA drag racing game, by the way. It was made by the Flatout 3 studio. Is that the game I played? I played a Game Mill game without knowing it. Is that the one that kept fucking breaking down on me? Or the car, not the game. The car kept breaking down on me anytime I tried to start it. Was that Game Mill? Yeah? Oh, that's so hype. I probably played their entire catalog during Steam Bad Game Nights when we dumpster dive on Steam new releases without realizing it. I have actually probably played every goddamn thing they've ever pumped out. I'm the most knowledgeable Game Mill consumer. I'm their target demographic. You're the reason they're still around. Yeah, everyone in the company wants to close down desperately, like pack it up, but one guy's like, no, we can't. Not when there's still work to be done for Charles. He needs bad games to play on stream. Yeah, I know what you like. You're so naughty. I've got exactly what you've been begging for. Something super goofy. This shit is so silly it'll have you dressing up like a clown just to fit the vibe. A popular online tournament circuit for Apex Legends permanently banned an entire team from competing in any of their future events because of teabagging. The new video game boogeyman, this teabagging menace. But in this case, it wasn't even like the classic scientific definition of a teabag where you go over and crouch up and down on someone's body after you've killed them. What happened here is it was a teammate that teabagged his other teammate just as a joke amongst each other. And it didn't matter. The tournament organizer didn't care. He made a giant statement. Not only were they going to be banned from competing in their tournaments going forward, but he puffed out his chest and exuded some real hall monitor energy by proudly proclaiming that no matter the context, even if it's a teammate teabagging another teammate for fun, it's still toxic and will not be tolerated in a professional setting. Doesn't matter. And then he goes on to say, just because you have a keyboard to hide behind doesn't mean that we'll accept it. It was so embarrassing. Just made an absolute fool out of himself and the entire tournament that they run. I'm going to go ahead and show the clip now because I'd like to get into it a bit more. But this is impressive timing because I just recently made a video a little under 2 weeks ago talking about that massive Twitter thread that claimed teabagging in a video game is the same as real-world sexual assault. Teabagging online is sexual assault. It was absolute insanity. But the reason I'm bringing that up is because now we have yet another case of teabagging being very contentious here. And I just have to wonder what the fuck is going on with the world right now, where online crouching up and down is apparently a huge deal. People always thought that in the future, wars would be fought on the battlefield with drones and robots. But the truth is very far from that. It seems our wars are now fought online with our digital nutsacks.
Twitch, the Terror Day, appreciate you sticking around. Yo! Okay, Dilly is, Crazy Penguinz is disqualified. I'm not taking that at all. Oh, he went over to the dead body that they just killed and he went and teabagged on the fucking death box.
You can see his soul immediately fill with rage as he noticed not one, not two, but 3 pumps on top of the death box. And that was 3 pumps too many. He broke the rule, a cardinal sin. So on the spot, immediately just disqualifies them. And then the next part here is Dilly, the player that he was spectating, proving that the death box that he teabagged was his teammate. Because he thought he could clear up the confusion, like, no, I wasn't, like, being toxic. This is my teammate. We were joking. We were having fun. But it didn't matter. He didn't care.
Absolutely not. Will not tolerate that. Literally goes in fucking out of his way to jump on a death box to teabag it. Don't think so. I have a fucking pen and pad. Yeah, so we're here to create a safe space for all gamers, everybody, and that kind of stuff will not be tolerated. Yes, we will not take that. They're trying to say that that was his own teammate. Yeah, they're saying that he teabagged his own teammate. So it doesn't matter, folks. Like, when you're in a tournament, you're in a professional tournament. You can't be doing it.
Super interesting and delusional perspective here that's just outright wrong. Teabagging is still present in professional esports, in pretty much all of them that have a teabagging mechanic. In fact, most recently at the ALGS, which is another Apex tournament, it's the biggest Apex tournament, there were instances of teabagging. And you know what didn't happen? Someone fucking charging the stage and flipping over their table, throwing the monitors to the side and saying, "You're banned, disqualified." No one made a big deal out of it. And do you know why? because it's really not that big of a deal. But somehow this struck a chord so deep inside of him that he went on this brief mention of how it's like compromising the safe space that he's trying to create with the tournament, which is another really weird perspective. Because I mean, what are you, like their mom? You popping your tit out so they can suckle? Like, what do you mean you're trying to provide a safe space for all gamers here? It's a video game, and it's a tournament that you are allowing people to compete in. That's already a space for people that feel comfortable enough to compete. Like, they don't need further protection from you. It's not like this team went on Twitter and started harassing them and sending them shitty message or anything. They kept everything localized to that tournament, kept everything in the game, and they only teabagged each other. Like, there was no toxicity being had in the first place. So how in any way did a teammate teabagging his friend, who was also on his team, compromise that safe space? I'd completely understand if they were being like rude assholes to the other teams, you know, insulting them or just being generally shitty to them. Then yeah, I can understand you being like, we won't tolerate that, get it out of here. Or I could even understand it if going into the tournament you had a rule that said no teabagging, the no teabagging clause, and they broke it here. This is a huge stretch, but even then I'd at least almost understand it, because I guess it would be like a technical breaking of that rule, but you don't even have that most basic rule in place. This does nothing to ruin the safe space that you're creating here, and I don't even really know what you mean by a safe space for gamers to compete in, because it's not like you do anything special. You're hosting a tournament for them to compete in, so the players that are playing there already feel comfortable enough to go there and play. Now, if things got out of control where, like I mentioned, they're sending nasty messages or whatever, then that would be a problem where you would want to stand up for your players and, you know, make a stand for them. But that didn't happen, and that hasn't happened.
That. And something people need to really understand. Yeah, so like you can't do that. Just like I'm telling you're going to tell me teabagging my own teammate is toxic. All right, so then this is where we're going to shut the lobby down at this point, because I'm not going to get into that one, because absolutely it is. Unfortunately, yes, disqualified, because yes, you cannot do that, folks. Sportsmanship, right? You cannot go and teabag your own teammates in any organized sports. So why would you come into an organized tournament and go and do something like that?
What a horrible, horrible comparison. You can't teabag in any professional organized sport, so why do it here? Bro, professional organized sports are not video games. You're not going to be able to teabag your golf opponent. Like, if you get a birdie and he gets a bogey, you can't, like, push him to the ground and start dropping nuts on him. Like, obviously, there's not going to be any sporting examples of someone teabagging the opponent. That's such a dumb comparison to try and make. This is a video game where you can do that, and it's not that big of a deal if you do. And you're talking about sportsmanship. This wasn't, like, not sportsmanlike. This was a teammate having fun with another teammate. Is the purpose of your tournament to have fun, or is it to go in there and be fucking miserable and be disciplined by you, the authority that rules it with an iron fist or whatever? Like, what are you trying to accomplish with your tournament if you're going to make it this cutthroat with how you enforce what you believe to be a toxicity violation? This is outrageous. It is absolutely outrageous. It has nothing to do with sportsmanship. I think what happened here is you thought that Dilly teabagged an opponent, and you thought that people might be upset about that, so you tried to get out ahead of it and made a big hoopla about it, but once it was revealed it was his teammate, you had to stay on that hill. You no longer could backpedal because you'd already dug yourself into that hole and backed yourself into that corner. And now you just look super dumb because of it. You should have just said, after it was revealed to be his teammate, oh, I misunderstood. I don't really want toxicity in my tournaments, so just, understand that going forward and respect that. Just no teabagging from here on out. That would have been a lot more respectable. I'm sure Dilly and the whole squad would have had no problem with that after the confusion was cleared up. But what you did here was the worst possible approach to handling this situation. And you couldn't even give an actual argument for how Dilly teabagging his teammate was actually toxic. At no point did you actually explain it. When challenged, you just said, okay, I'm not going there, time to shut down the lobby. You didn't really go into detail on why you believed it was still toxic after you learned that it was his teammate.
So no, you cannot teabag your own teammates, or anybody for that matter. Do not teabag teammates in the future. Just because you can hide behind this and get to use this little thing, you're not going to do that in the real world, so don't do that.
Oh, big shot here. Big muscle, masculine, tough guy. You can hide behind these keyboards, but you wouldn't say it to my face. What a great argument. I don't even know what that has to do with anything, by the way. It's not like Dilly and them were talking shit. They were trying to understand, trying to get clarification, like, can you explain how me teabagging my friend who's on my team is toxic? And I guess for some reason he took that as fighting words. Oh, so you want to fight then? Keyboard warrior, of course. Get out of here. Banned forever. Horrible. Horrible, horrible all around. Let's go ahead and see what Dilly said, because he made a couple posts about it, obviously, because he was upset about it. And as he lays out here, it's not in the rules. Like, there's nothing about teabagging in the rules. So even if he was trying to, like, strictly enforce a poorly written rule, it's not even there to begin with. They just had absolutely no grounds for this overreaction. So yeah, horrible ban here, awful decision, and it makes the entire organization, or the entire tournament here, look really, really silly. That's about it. So yeah. Diablo is one of the most beloved video game franchises of all time, and now Diablo Immortal is here, the newest entry into the franchise. And it's become clear that the Diablo that people loved is dead and buried, and its corpse is being paraded around like some kind of Weekend at Bernie's style charade. And not because the game is bad. In fact, most people agree the game itself is very fun and really well made. The problem is how pay to win it is. The microtransactions in this game are a whole new breed of scummy. Not even Ed Netty would have come up with a scam like this. I swear to God, the microtransaction model must have been designed by Mr. Krabs. I'm honestly shocked that it's not charging you for using your own Wi-Fi to play the game. Every single piece of this game has an accompanying microtransaction with it to speed up progress, to give you loot, give you buffs, whatever, gems, anything you can imagine. There's a microtransaction for it in the game. And it's packing meat. Some of them are expensive, and there's so many of them, and it incentivizes you heavily to engage in dropping at least a little bit of money sometimes. It's like a drug dealer who's just giving you free samples to get you hooked, like, hey, first one's free. In Diablo Immortal, it's the first one's cheap, you know, the first one's like 80 cents or $1, and you get an 800% buff, you know, why wouldn't you just give $1 to help improve the flow of the game, the progress, you know, it's just $1, right, that's no big deal. And then as you continue to progress, it gets more and more expensive, and eventually it's just a ton of money outright, all the way to the tune of about $100,000 to fully max out a character, one character, with all of the max gems and everything. 100,000 real-world doubloons, 100,000 of your hard-earned clams for a single character in Diablo Immortal. Fucking wild. Now, of course, these are estimates from the players. Right now, the game's still early. No one's whaled 100 grand to my knowledge, but this is everything they've calculated through data mining, as well as just all of the stats and numbers that have been crunched. So I trust the community to be accurate with it, since they've gone like turbo detective mode on it to really digest how pay-to-win the game is. And everything that they've found and everything that I've read about, it's wild. I've never seen anything like this. It's just blatant trash. It is just absolute blatant greed, no mask, just coming full throttle. We want your money, and we want all of your money, the full amount in your wallet, into our game. It makes FIFA loot boxes look good. So let's go over it a little bit and dive in a bit deeper. Probably know the answer to this, but would you play Diablo Immortal? No. I was reading about it, and I watched Ziz's video on it yesterday. It is crazy how greedy this game is. Like, even more so than most pay-to-win games on mobile. So apparently this claim is accurate. To fully max everything on a single character, it'll cost around 100 grand. Of real money. It's wild. And another crazy thing, so there's so many levels to their pay-to-win scheme, but if you engage in pay-to-win, you have to log in every day to keep some of the items. So let's say you whale out. You know, you get a little hog wild with mommy's credit card, and you put in quite a bit of money, and you get the shit you want. You'll have to log in daily, and if you miss a day, you lose it. You can just lose the items that you paid to win with, because you didn't log in for a day. Or 2 days, however long it is, I don't remember. I think it varies based on the item and the pay-to-win level. Oh, it's beyond greedy. It is shocking. And I will say, you guys know I'm not a big ARPG guy, but Diablo Immortal actually looks like a fun ARPG. If it wasn't this blatantly scummy, I think it probably would have been a good, well, and it probably still is if you don't pay for it, a good game. Now, Diablo Immortal's had a really rocky history. The second it was announced, it was immediately infamous. People hated it before it ever even came out because Blizzard announced it at BlizzCon in a really shitty, douchey way. So they threw out Diablo Immortal, it's going to be mobile, and then people weren't super excited, and they go, what, you guys don't have phones? Well, you know, like, what kind of response is that? You know, people were just expecting like a Diablo 4 or something, and they're getting a mobile game, so they're rightfully, you know, not as hype as you would expect. And meanwhile, they're getting upset and offended about it. Like, come on, dipshits, you have mobile devices. Everyone's going to be playing Diablo Immortal on their phones. Every phone's going to come pre-installed with Diablo Immortal. What the fuck is wrong with you losers? Fucking nerds. And then, of course, it led to the viral clip where one of the BlizzCon viewers came up to ask a question to the employees during a Q&A and said, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke with the Diablo Immortal announcement? So from the very get-go, people weren't excited about this game. And I honestly believe the announcement of Diablo Immortal was marking the decline of Blizzard as a company as a whole. Blizzard was worshipped for pretty much the entire history of his existence. People have worshipped, kissed the ground Blizzard has walked on until Diablo Immortal. That was the first time I can think of where Blizzard fans finally started to criticize them a bit and be upset about something. For the first time in Reddit history, a post that wasn't sucking Blizzard's cock was getting updates, calling out Blizzard behavior like with how they handled Diablo Immortal. And then from there, it's only been just a downward spiral for the company. You know, with all of the workplace sexual assaults, as well as one of the employees committing suicide because of a bunch of terrible workplace things. Awful, awful shit coming to light with the company. Tons and tons of layoffs. And then even on the game side of things, horrible business decisions with their games like the Warcraft Reforged. Everything has just been not in Blizzard's favor. People haven't been happy with Blizzard. You know, the whole free Hong Kong thing. Just tons and tons and tons of things that have happened all post Diablo Immortal. And I really think it all started with Diablo Immortal. So this game was really cursed from the get-go for them. And now that it's out, it's even worse than people expected when it comes to microtransactions. I think everyone is really impressed with the game overall. Apparently, from everything I've watched and everyone I've listened to, all the streams I've watched, everyone agrees the game is good. Like, they've made a really good game, especially for mobile. And I agree, I'm not an ARPG guy, but I also think it looks fun. But it is completely overshadowed by how greedy it is. Do you think in-game purchases ruin good games? It depends. I'm of the stance that if it's a purely single-player experience, it's only PvE, pay-to-win elements don't ruin the game. If someone's going to whale out to have fun in a single-player game, that's their right. But once that enters into like a multiplayer experience, then I think it's a problem. Yeah, I also think paid cosmetics are fine, obviously. I don't think anyone has a problem with cosmetics. It's game-changing items, which is why it's pay to win. If you pay money for an item that changes your gameplay, it's pay to win, by its definition. But I'm fine with that when it's a single-player only experience, PvE only experience. I don't really care, because it's just an individual playing the game how they want to play, and they should have the complete freedom to go crazy with it. You know, fucking dumping money out the ass onto the game if they choose. It's just when it's a multiplayer game and it gives you an advantage that it's a problem. The option to pay. And they blatantly say 800% improvement when you pay for it. So when you get flashed, you know, jump scared with their microtransactions, it'll straight up say buying this for $1, $2, whatever it is an 800% buff. Fucking wild. And yeah, like, the value here is nuts. You have to buy it. Your life is incomplete without it. This is why your parents divorced, because you didn't buy our microtransactions.
With the worst, because that's probably what a lot of people are here for. This is...
Where is it?
Borderlands.
Oh, yeah, there. Look, it tells you plus 800%. Plus 570%. And it's only $1. How can you play the game without that? So it's so predatory. It's like, well, it's only $1. I can justify that for an 800% boost. I'm gonna be going fucking Ultra Instinct in this bitch now. The grind is gonna be so much better. It's gonna be so much more fun. The next thing you know, you got limp dick in your hand and you're down $2,000 because you couldn't help yourself from all the microtransactions here. Because they scale. Starts at $1, but the more you engage in the micros, the more you're going to be spending, and the more expensive the packs become. Are you sure that doesn't mean the value is 800% over the cost? I don't know. I'm not. I haven't played the game. All I'm saying is, I look at this as a player and I see plus 800%, regardless of how they mean it. I'm taking that as, wow, I'm getting a lot if I spend $1 here. 800% sounds scummy. Does it finish the quest without you doing anything? I don't know all the levels to it. It is microed out the fucking wazoo. Every component of this game has some micro to accompany it, whether it's to speed up progression, speed up loot, you name it. There's so many micros. But I don't know if there's like auto quest completer or something. I'm sure there is. There's probably like a we'll play the game for you. Have I paid for any mobile games yet? Yes. So I've said this before. The most money I've ever spent on a game is a mobile game. It's Duel Links. So Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. I'm not sure how much I spent in Duel Links. It would probably be north of like $3,000 though, over the course of like a year. And I've never spent money on another video game in my life, except for Master Duel when it came to Steam. So it's card games, really. Card games get to me. You know, you have to build decks, man. And I like to be competitive in my Yu-Gi-Oh. The only three. Only 3 games I've ever spent money on: Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, and Warframe. I went a little hog wild in Warframe too, but not nearly to the level I did in Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, Pokemon Unite, but that's more of a meme. Like, if I wasn't actively streaming Pokemon Unite, I wouldn't have paid to win for the first 2 days just for fun, just to stomp kids and send them to bed crying. You need to spend money to make a clan. I saw that post. So Diablo Immortal, like, obviously, you know, you're gonna form your groups and everything. A lot of them are requiring that you are a pay-to-win player. So I saw the post where one of the recruiters or whatever, the recruitment board or whatever, specifies that you need to have the battle pass, which you pay for. What else was it? It was like 2 other pay-to-win components. And I can't remember what they were, but yeah, you are like literally required for these groups, like if you want to get into them, to pay. It doesn't look like they're letting in free-to-play players. Fun fact, no way. Fun fact, Diablo Immortal is made by the same developers as Cyber Hunter. I just don't believe you. They're co-developers. Cyber Hunter is still one of my favorite multiplayer experiences ever. It's on Steam, but there's cross-play with phones, I believe. So you will play against actual kids taking a shit at school and trying to get in a Cyber Hunter game, and you just absolutely slap them. It feels amazing. It's like actually living out a god fantasy. I had so much fun with this game. I feel like I've only scratched the surface on how awful the microtransactions are in this game, because I'm not a player of the game. So I'm only seeing this as an outsider who's reading the articles and watching the videos. I would highly recommend you check out some of the video essays on it, going through just how pay-to-win it is and how bad it is. Though I have also seen counterclaims that you can still participate as free-to-play and do, you know, pretty much everything a pay-to-win player can do. You'll just do it slower. And then I've also seen some data on how long it would take to do some of the things pay-to-win players do as free-to-play, and it looks like it'd take years. So if you're free-to-play and free-to-play only, it seems like some things that you have access to will still take you years to complete, whereas if you're pay-to-win, it'll take you minutes to do. So there's just a huge discrepancy between what you get when you're paying versus how you can achieve it as free-to-play, because they're trying very hard to incentivize people as much as possible to spend money in the game. And it's really aggressive from everything I've read. So I highly encourage you, if you're interested, look at more videos, look at more research from people who have actually been in the game. Like I said, Ziz has a great video on it if you want to see more from that. I'll put a link to it in the description. And this is just something that really surprised me, because I didn't think any company would just be this open with greed. And I think the plan from Blizzard is pretty simple. Go as crazy as possible with microtransactions on launch to get as many whales to invest in it as possible off rip. So you'll have a ton of people spending a ton of money over the course of the first like 2 weeks or whatever, and then you make a big statement, a huge hoopla about, we're listening to our players. You guys are unsatisfied with our model for microtransactions, and we're doing something about it. We're putting the kibosh on it. Our foot's coming down. We're changing the microtransaction model, and then they're going to dial it back as like this big heroic moment. Like, we listen to you guys. We're making it better. Even though from the get-go they knew it was too much, but they also knew people wouldn't care and would spend a ton of money on it. So they're trying to have their cake and eat it too, where it's not a PR disaster and it gives them good brownie points with gamers when they eventually come forward and say, all right, we listened and now we're scaling it back. And I do think they are going to scale it back at some point. But in its current state, I wouldn't recommend the game unless you are purely going to free-to-play. I highly encourage you, if you're really just having that itch to play Diablo Immortal, play it without spending any money. It is possible. The early game, in fact, from what I've understood, is fine, completely fine free-to-play. It's not until you get towards the end game where the pay-to-win elements really come into full effect. So if you have to play the game, please just don't spend money on it to support this kind of practice, because it's terrible. And if they see huge returns on it, it's really only going to get worse for more games in the future once they can see what they can get away with. So, yeah, that's really about it. See ya. Everyone knows Dr. Phil. I'm sure you've seen his show at some point. He's the man of many memes, the man of my dreams, the man who makes me cream. He's had this show for decades, and it's focused on, you know, some out there people coming on and looking for Dr. Phil's sage wisdom. He brings on some wacky goofballs, he sits them down, looks them straight in the eye, and hits them with a fucking nothing burger. Everything I've ever seen from the Dr. Phil show, it ends with him giving really lazy and not very helpful advice to the family. It's like going on the Dr. Phil show was like going on Yahoo Answers 10 years ago. It's not like the greatest, but it is certainly entertaining, and what I want to focus on today is the fact that Dr. Phil turns out to be a hardcore gamer. He's just like us, actually. He demonstrated his expertise in the gaming field with a recently posted video on his YouTube channel. He's really like a fucking turbo gamer. Like, this guy goes in. So I want to go ahead and show you this clip here, and we can just go over it.
If you're looking for something to do that's fun, relaxing, and good for your brain, I have a perfect way for you to take a much-needed break, and it's right on your phone for free. It's an app game called Solitaire Grand Harvest.
I was really expecting it to be Raid Shadow Legends here, but Solitaire Grand Harvest is a close second. Typically, when you picture gaming, you're probably picturing Solitaire Grand Harvest. And now Dr. Phil has ascended. He is now the face of gaming.
I like to unwind with the game. The artwork is amazing. All of the challenges and levels are super fun. And I really like all of the super cute animals that play along with you.
Yeah, they do have great artwork. Lorinda, what do you enjoy about the game?
I've always loved the way Dr. Phil talks. He sounds like Chucky Finster with a really bad cold. The way he just like says "a game" is so adorable. It's like he's constantly fighting through a ton of phlegm and just mucus everywhere, but he really wants to talk about Solitaire Grand Harvest. Now, the two actresses that he brought on to promote the Grand Harvest adventure here just keep mentioning, like, the artwork, as well as Dr. Phil. He keeps saying, like, yeah, the artwork is nuts. I've never seen anything like it. So I decided to look it up because, you know, this is embarrassing to admit out loud. I don't play the game. You might have to revoke my gamer card after me saying that. But yeah, I've never played Grand Harvest, so I had to look it up on Google Images, and I gotta say, they're right. You don't usually see something of this high quality in a video game. This is the kind of shit you see in like a Marvel movie. Like this is blowing me away. The fact that we've reached this level of technological expertise to be able to capture something this impressive.
We're going to watch you guys play. Are you up for some friendly competition?
Let's play.
So, all right, let's see who can complete their level first. So you have your phones, and we're going to see them. You guys see them on the screens here. All right, so get ready, set. All right, play.
That is the face of a man experiencing immense pleasure. Dr. Phil is powered by Solitaire Grand Harvest. There's no blood left in his body. It's just Grand Harvest gems now. That's what fuels him. And now we're all in for a treat. We get the goddamn esports grand championship here. Dr. Phil has just conducted the biggest tournament in Solitaire Harvest history. We get these two athletes squaring off on the bloodiest battleground on mobile devices, and it's about to get nutty. You thought League of Legends was toxic. Wait until you see high-level Solitaire Grand Harvest play.
All right, we can see what's going on here. Now, the game is not only enjoyable, but it's challenging, and it can sharpen your brain. You're also getting double the fun playing solitaire and can actually build a farm and harvest it. As you progress in the game, you win different rewards and credits, and this game has different surprises as you progress, so it's challenging and fun.
The audience paid for the whole seat, but they only need the edge for this one here, because goddamn, this is an intense clash of the titans here happening on the big screen. Luckily, Dr. Phil's shoutcasting, so that way we can keep up with the action. And my god, it does look fun. I can't believe I've gone this long without playing Solitaire Grand Harvest. And especially if it's got Dr. Phil's stamp of approval, this guy knows quality. This guy's much more reliable than IGN, Kotaku, Polygon. Like, this guy, he knows what he's talking about. So if Dr. Phil says it's challenging, it's fun, and it's going to turn me into a super genius, then god damn it, what am I waiting for?
So if you're looking for a mini escape with beautiful artwork and great scenery, you can take a break from your busy day and try growing some cool crops. So how are you doing?
I finished, I won.
Oh, you did? All right.
Dr. Phil caught with his pants down and dick in his hand a little bit there, didn't realize that the game had already ended and we crowned a champion. Katie was victorious here. She went fucking wild. She went full throttle there. That was high octane. Katie entered just the flow state and was just mastering the Grand Harvest adventure. Dr. Phil just couldn't keep up. He was too busy explaining the fun of the game. As Dr. Phil continues to mention, the artwork truly is beautiful. Like, you don't usually see grass and a dirt road that looks like that. You know, this is definitely a milestone. This is an achievement for the human race, being able to make art look that good, especially on a mobile device too. Like, it really is incredible what they've been able to do here.
Congratulations to both of you. You know, Robin and I started playing this, and we love the graphics because it's really animated and fun. And both of you are really good at the game, and that makes you both winners. So whether you're currently playing games on your cell phone or not, now's the time to get in on the fun. I was looking at a study the other day, and these games actually do improve your brain function.
I have no doubt about that. Solitaire Grand Harvest has been credited with creating some of the finest minds in human history. Albert Einstein, he was a top 10 player in Grand Harvest. You know, like, we've seen the effects of this. We already knew that this was good for your brain. Not only good for your brain, great for your brain. Your brain right now it's level 1. Take it to level 100 with Grand Harvest, obviously. I love that they keep mentioning the graphics, because I also agree. Like, this is a game that has truly innovated. It's a pioneer in the artwork and graphics department. It really makes you feel like a farmer playing solitaire on a dirt road, and you can't find that anywhere else. So I can totally understand why Dr. Phil loves the game so much, and I'm just happy to see that he's a gamer too, just like you and me. And yeah, I really appreciated the 3.5-minute segment here. I have to wonder how much that cost Grand Harvest. Like, that's longer than like a YouTuber ad. Usually it's like a minute 15 tops. I've never seen one go 3.5 minutes. That's like 15% of his whole show. Like, that time, that runtime is a massive chunk of that entire show, because there's also commercial breaks during it. So that was a lot that they paid for there, and I'd be very curious to know what it cost them. Anyway, just wanted to show this. That's about it. See ya. Do you remember a few years ago when Pepsi saved the world with that incredible, powerful commercial where Kylie Jenner bravely grabbed the Pepsi, led a group of people, and then gave that Pepsi to a police officer, and then the world started to heal? Climate change was fixed. Poverty extinct. World hunger a thing of the past. All thanks to Pepsi. It was a commercial that was made fun of endlessly online, and it's been a little while since then, and Coke decided that it was time to try and one-up that Pepsi commercial. Coke's always been battling with Pepsi, so it only makes sense that they try and create the worst commercial of all time to beat Pepsi. And god damn it, I say they might have gotten really close with this one. Let me go ahead and show you it. Yeah, it's a gamer commercial. Those always go well. Nothing screams in touch with the youth quite like 80-year-old businessmen trying to create a commercial to cater to gamers. I can already imagine the meeting where this abominable antichrist of a commercial was born. Alright guys, shut the fuck up. Listen to me. I've got the floor. What if we created a commercial that'll put a smile on the face of every video game player out there? We know they like orcs, and we know they like that Mario, and sometimes they even compete. So let's combine all of this and create something special. This is a game right here that would be a real chart topper. It's like fucking Raid Shadow Legends meets For Honor. I'm assuming the suit that came up with this was just watching his son watch YouTube videos and then kept getting like Raid Shadow Legends ads or something. He's like, okay, so this is the game everyone likes. And then he used that to make this. So the conflict here, we're at the World Championship, all eyes on these athletes here, and one of them sucking some asshole. They're getting their shit pushed in, and they get knocked out, so they take a little timeout or something to go grab a Coke, which I think is just poor team play. So they go AFK during the championship to grab a Coke, chug that bitch, and then all of a sudden the Orc's powering up too. He's feeling it, you know? So we're jacking into the cyberspace here through the power of Coke, and things are about to get wacky.
It's putting down the weapons.
You seeing this?
I would be fucking pissed if I was a spectator watching this championship. Like, who even wins? We just all lose for having to experience it. So fucking, the conclusion here to the world of Shadow Legends is they all put down their weapons and friendship wins again. I'm just shocked there was no anime references, to be honest. They had, like, streamers in here reacting to it. Like, you know, what the fuck is going on here? The weapons are going down. They're all gonna hold hands and kiss each other on the fucking mouth. Oh, no! It's a pretty impressive commercial. I don't really know what the takeaway is here, other than Coke will ruin your video game if you allow it at the World Championships because it tastes so good that everyone's gonna want to quit playing. Like, I don't really know what you're supposed to take away here. Unless it's like there's two worlds. There's a video game world that the player is controlling and then the human world that they inhabit. And through the power of Coke, they have bridged the dimensions here like a fucking filthy wormhole. And now everyone's happy. So the people in the video game world are no longer going to kill each other. Also, the Orc had massive nipples. So him and his massive nipples, they call a truce. They're like, okay, no more fighting. Hoorah, this one's for Coke. And then they cheers in the human world. I don't really know what the fuck the point of it is. Pepsi saved our planet, Earth. Coke saved Middle Earth. They went straight to Mordor and drank a Coke instead. I don't really know what to make of this. We're only one Coke away from each other. That's a fucking stupid slogan. That's like as dumb as the thing I always say where sometimes you bust a nut and sometimes you're the nut that gets busted. It's a statement that really doesn't mean anything. I don't know how that even correlates with what we were just shown. All I know is that this cost Coke a lot of money. This is high quality 3D animation. It looks incredible. So that is absolutely a 7, maybe even 8-figure commercial right there, and it sucks shit. It is bad. Like, the reception to it is obviously negative other than just complimenting the animation studio behind it, which they absolutely deserve. The commercial visually does look good. It's good animation. But my god, I would have rather it be used for anything else. It is such a dumb idea. And when you really break it down, all that happens here is a player's bad at the game and they get beaten fair and square, so they go and grab a Coke out of rage and then come back and just throw the game. They literally just rage quit. And then everyone else also rage quits. Like, it's not really a positive message at all. They just ruined the championship. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to share this because I thought it was pretty interesting that Coke is trying to outdo Pepsi in terms of horrible commercials, so Godspeed to them. I'm looking forward to more from the Coke gamer universe experiment. Fucking voice is cracking now, I'm so excited. But yeah, anyway, that's about it. See ya. I used to love SOCOM.
What's up? I'm Stryker, and I've been on a special intelligence mission to find the ultimate gamer for SOCOM 3. And today, we're ready to ambush our lucky winner.
It's just my dad.
Not only is he gonna get team. So if you want your boat to be rocked, or you want to rock the boat, come hang out with us today.
I'm ready to rock and get rocked on the boat, Stryker!
That's affiliate? Wait, did it finally go through?
Know it yet, but he's been selected as the ultimate gamer for SOCOM 3.
Today we're gonna burn down the whole complex if they don't play SOCOM. Stryker, you're so goofy.
Whoa! We're already hugging. How you doing, man? Good.
Stryker's so touchy. He's just such like a hands-on kind of guy.
this is it. You gotta
Start
love
going
the
for his
things.
scrocom.
And you know what?
Hey, Matt.
Ladies, wait here.
Women love a man that knows how to destroy an apartment building.
Beautiful. Get out of here.
Let's go, ladies.
Get away, felon. Yeah, go have a threesome. Get out. We're trying to play games in here.
Life.
Ew, gross. Looks like Matt's been here. It's covered in dog shit.
What's up, Kahi? Here's my man BJ from Best Buy.
Hey, Best Buy. Just finished the shift. Minimum wage. I hate this fucking place. What's up, Striker?
Ultimate Gamer. Love the television, don't you?
TV's wonderful.
You love the wires that go in and out of them?
Spaghetti factory, baby.
All right, we're gonna leave it up to
What?
you, bro. Ultimate Gamer. We're gonna let them do
Wires?
their thing.
It's a
Absolutely.
spaghetti
Got the
factory?
Yeah,
wires.
well, just
Still
such a
got the
weird thing to
helmet.
say. You like the
We're gonna
wires
do all
that go
my stuff,
in and out of them.
And we're going. All right, we are going to Zipper Interactive. You know where that's at, I take it?
Nope.
Washington. We're going to Washington.
Nobody knows where Zipper Interactive is. They haven't made a game in 30 years.
I don't even know.
We're ready to go right now.
Yeah, it's like it's fucking old. They probably went bankrupt as a result of paying for Stryker to do all this shit.
Turn this on the side of the road.
Uh-oh, she's opening a spaghetti factory.
Unicorns and
SOCOM 3 game testers. And later, boom.
He actually gets to kill a man. We put him face to face with a real prisoner of war and give him a loaded weapon. What will Bo do?
They can see how much more detailed and cool the SOCOM 3 environments are compared to SOCOM 2.
What do you mean, detailed environments? You showed him a desert. You showed him an empty desert. Surely there was some better spot to show.
You up? Yeah. And I've been hanging out with Ed here. Ed is the man. We are getting.
Is there anyone Stryker doesn't touch?
PSP.
I'm surprised when he invited the interior design girl over, he didn't like honk her titties on the way in.
For the first time, it's on the PSP.
Kane! She's gonna pimp your pad!
Look at this. What's up, buddy?
Alright, so this level right now, no one outside of Zipper has ever played this level.
And no one ever will, because it's for the PSP, dude.
Wow, this is sweet.
Did
Nice
people
job,
actually
man.
have
You're good.
You like that?
They did,
Probably gonna
and
want
immediately
to
regretted it.
one day to play.
More new faces for Stryker to touch!
He's touching the chair.
Well, he hasn't warmed up yet.
And you play. It's no fun playing by yourself.
He's gonna start caressing his face or something soon. Tell him about all the interesting animations.
So,
Feels his hair. Tell him what jelly he uses.
Yeah.
and we're gonna just see how you do, little ultimate gamer boy. Let's do it. Everyone ready?
Such a weird guy.
All right.
Looks into the camera.
He's so odd. Everyone that dies in the game gets caressed by Stryker in the real world.
oh, you've got to be
Oh,
sick of
Kahi,
looking
not
at these
Kane.
boring white walls. Time to hook this place up, SOCOM 3 style.
Yeah, poop ass brown color. Beautiful. I see why she's the expert here. Oh, he's making fantastic time. Oh god! Watch out for the dynamite! There's depth charges everywhere. I like to imagine they used real depth charges. He could have actually died.
Meet him at the rendezvous. Check. Let's detonate this son of a bitch. Hit it. Do it.
No, we did it! The terrorists have been stopped! What was the mission? Blow up a barrel? Hey, Geek Squad! Wait, I remember Geek Squad. Do they still exist? They're like the Men in Black of tech support.
For grabs the entire PlayStation 2 library and a bunch of games for your brand new PSP, which you got earlier.
The entire PS2 library. Stryker, I don't think you know how many games that is. I think to date, PS2 has more games on ever released on it than any other console in history. There was so much shovelware on the PS2, it's fucking nuts.
In full effect. We're hugging it out and he's beating me up. When the
Man, Stryker just, hey, he just loves to get right up in someone's sack. You're the ultimate gamer! The ultimate gamer, bro!
ridiculous day today, right?
Whoa! Look at this shit! We can just hang out in here now and play SOCOM. Yeah, yeah, dude, yeah, woo! Woohoo! Gamers being bros. Yeah.
Original artwork from Zipper Intermotes. So I have an ace in the
Uh-oh.
hole to play with us. Yeah? You want to see who it is? Who? Tracy!
The real sergeant of the U.S. military? Tracy!
She's more excited than he was.
Yeah, she's just a better actress. Striker, get in there! Get in on the hug, bro!
For Halo. No, man.
Pinch his nipples or something, Striker! What are you doing? Holding back. Not even touching him.
I put it up.
Oh, he did both of them! Striker, you've unleashed the demons!
That was fun. I'm getting in the driver's side. The passenger side. You little bastard.
He's such a weird guy. You scallywag!
Cameron is a product manager at Bungie.
Don't scare them, Nick.
What does that mean exactly?
I'm responsible for making sure you know about when we're coming out.
Yeah, I definitely do. And the date is-
What a cool position!
Exactly. Halo
I'm the guy that says the release date.
Now Frank, the writer, is also going to
Fist bump.
Eric is our 3D man.
Let's introduce you to the guy that licks the toilet seats clean. This is Bill.
Sophisticated. A little surprise for you.
Really?
I think we got a little posse.
Oh yeah, really fucking massage him there, Striker. It's big.
After we're done, it's gonna look tight.
They turned it into a prison. Like, this actually looks like a prison.
I thought, you know what? This is the next best thing, if not better. It is the Warthog. What up, Reggie?
No, it's not, Nick. Open your eyes. Fearless Dune Master. Whoa, my lord! What? Wow, wait, that's kind of cool. He's got like the whole Master Chief statue.
I like. Good.
I wish it wasn't painted like a prison, but it's kind of nice, everything in it.
Well, I mean, I guess it's kind of supposed to be like that Halo.
Like a spaceship, I guess, maybe. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm about to show you may shock you to your very core, disturb you to a level you thought not possible, so I hope you've got a comfort blanket nearby. Recent studies have shown us what we never wanted to see. What gamers could look like in 20 years. Just take a look at this, if you even can, if you can stomach to look at this for more than a matter of seconds. Revolting, terrifying model shows what avid gamers could look like in just 20 years. Researchers from onlinecasino.ca, one of the most trusted resources for gamer models, has come out and shown us what we never wanted to look at, a mirror. Here we can see the weight of our sins laid bare in front of our eyes. We could all look like this in just a mere 20 years. And with the quarantine keeping us all locked inside playing our video games, it could be maybe 20 months. Who knows? It could have really accelerated the process, this evolution. It's terrifying, truly haunting. He looks like something out of Wallace and Gromit with an alcohol abuse problem. This shit is fucking scary. Now I'm going to go against the grain here and say onlinecasino.ca may have gotten the studies wrong here. I don't believe gamers are going to look like this 20 years down the line. I don't think they're going to look like this fucking homunculus creature thing they have here. I think they're going to look just like normal people. We'll never be able to tell the gamers amongst us in society. And to some people, that's equally as frightening as the model you see before you. But I argue, who gives a fuck? Let us game. You know, who knows, maybe 20 years down the line, gamers are the most intelligent on the planet, with gargantuan bulging muscles where the skin is tearing because the muscles have run out of room to expand and the skin can't contain it. You don't know. This model just seems like a blatant attack on gamers. But let's go into the science from onlinecasino.ca, because that's what online casinos are known for, accurate science. With the UK now in its third week of lockdown, many bored Brits have turned to gaming in the hopes of filling their time stuck in the house. I truly love how gaming is hyperlinked and underlined and highlighted in red. They really know their audience has just no fucking clue what it means to be young anymore. You know, they'll read this and be confused. Gaming? What is this? Gaming. Gaming, perhaps? I'm gonna have to click this and do a little research I've never heard of. Fun? But a new study looking into the effects of gaming on the human body may put you off gaming for a while. Researchers from onlinecasino.ca have predicted what avid gamers could look like in just 20 years if they don't change their habits. It's coming, baby! The doomsday for gamers is on its way, as predicted by the Mayan calendar over at onlinecasino.ca. The team has created a model called Michael, who doesn't look too well. I mean, that's just being downright rude. I think Michael looks fine. It's a very subjective thing to be critiquing someone's appearance here. That's pretty low, Mirror. To create Michael, the team looked at research reports looking into the physical effects of staying indoors, sat in a chair while staring at a screen. The researchers explained, the visualization shows that Michael has pale and pasty skin from years of being in artificial light, and the result of lack of vitamin D and B12. He has stress-related eczema across his legs and arms and a permanently bent back from poor posture. And then Michael's little Chia Pet hair is kind of peeking up on the picture there, so that's kind of cute. So I've got to wonder, do they think that the human body is absorbing that artificial light and making the skin paler? Because that's not really how it works. I mean, yeah, not going outside, you're not going to be super tan or anything, but it's not like you're going to turn into like some fluorescent light just because you're sitting in front of a computer screen. Also, why is his hair falling out? Is he getting radiation poisoning from playing too much Counter-Strike? Or like, what the fuck is going on? Here's a closer look at this cutie here. Honestly, this just looks like something I'd see in an ASPCA commercial. Like, I feel like I want to donate to Michael right now. Like, if Michael's streaming, I'm going in there, I'm saying, keep your head up. I don't know why the fuck the tabloids are attacking you. You're doing great work, buddy. Like, this is just a sad little picture here, this little mugshot. This makes me feel bad for Michael. I gotta say, though, I don't know what the fuck's going on with the facial hair, because that doesn't look normal. I don't think any facial hair has ever looked like that in the entire history of human existence. His facial hair looks like something out of X-Men, where his mutant power is shooting tendrils out of his face in specific locations. They look like little spikes that he's glued on there. That doesn't look like facial hair at all. Number 1. Head. Michael has painful bloodshot eyes due to extended periods of time staring at a screen. The model also has an indent in his skull due to constant light pressure of wearing a gaming headset. You know what, I'll give you that one. I wasn't originally a believer in gaming headsets changing skull shapes, but I've been watching so many Tyler 1 streams over the last year that I now know it's very possible. Sometimes the dude will take off the gaming headset and it looks like his entire skull is caved in, like it's been hit by a baseball bat. So, yeah, you know what, I guess gaming headset exposure for fucking 20 years straight could do something like that. Unsurprisingly, years of gaming have had a detrimental effect on Michael's hands. Yeah, you don't say. This looks like he stuck his hand under a hydraulic press. This looks like someone ran over his hands with a Cybertruck and then reversed over it again. This wouldn't really happen unless he is literally always typing on the keyboard and going hard as fuck in like StarCraft 2 with actions per minute. I feel like this model assumes gamers never sleep or do anything other than hammering away at a keyboard 24 hours a day. So for Michael here, as he's falling asleep into his wet dreams, he is still micromanaging all of his units in StarCraft. So yeah, maybe 20 straight years of never stopping without a single minute of rest, shitting in buckets, pissing in your seat. Yeah, maybe your hand could look like that. Here's just a general overview of this train wreck of a model. I feel like they just threw darts at a board of medical conditions and then strapped it on Michael here. I mean, a lot of this shit is quite the reach, like onycholysis here with the nail injury from repeated tapping movements. I don't know about that one. Also, hairy ears. You know, that's a pretty tough sell right there. Some of it's obvious shit, you know, obesity, carpal tunnel, all that standard garbage. Yeah, you know what, fair enough. But overall, you know, I think it does what it aims to do. It scares older people into thinking video games are gonna kill people in 20 years and make them look like monsters. The article's purpose is clearly to drive up fear or make people, you know, reconsider gaming and tuning into more tabloids. So it does what it aims to do, I guess. But yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Groundbreaking science being conducted over there. And, you know, only time will tell if gamers will truly look like that in 20 years. We'll see. That's about it. So yeah, yesterday, the world was struck with something it could have never prepared for. We as a species would have never expected what happened yesterday. The Mayans predicted the world would end in 2012, but I think what they were actually predicting was what transpired yesterday, with Fortnite shutting down. For over 24 hours now, Fortnite has been offline. In that period of time, we've seen violence, drug use, robberies, and Dorito sales all increasing exponentially at an alarming rate. It's the fucking wild, wild west out here now. Fires raging, degeneracy all over the place. It's lawlessness all over this bitch. It's looking like Mad Max now that Fortnite's been down for so long. It's like Pandora's box was opened with Fortnite's closure. This is a pandemic the likes of which this world wasn't ready for. We couldn't have possibly been ready for. Just look at what CBS had to say about this outbreak.
These were the sounds heard around the gaming world.
Bro, what is going on?
After Fortnite, creating anger, confusion, and complete hysteria.
The footage is hard to watch. It looks straight out of Kingsman when the rage meter was turned all the way up and everyone started just fucking annihilating each other in the streets. That's what's going on with Fortnite. This may be an extinction level event that we're witnessing here if Fortnite doesn't come online soon. But I'm not really here to talk about the response to Fortnite going down. Obviously the freak out videos that are going all over the place are clear satire. those have existed for as long as the internet has. The angry German kid smashing his keyboard, the World of Warcraft guy shoving a remote up his asshole, all of that was proven to be fake. It's just satire videos, and it's no different in this case. I don't know why people are using this as some type of leverage or evidence against Epic Games for Fortnite's addictive properties. No, it's kids making a YouTube video hoping to go viral for a fake freakout. That's always happened. What I want to talk about, though, is in the same broadcast from CBS, they talk about Fortnite being as addicting as cocaine. And Epic Games is actually being sued by mothers in Canada because they consider the game too addicting.
Fortnite has been compared to be as addicting as cocaine and tobacco by some parents. The game is free, but players can pay for accessories including costumes.
Now, I just want to start this by pulling your pants down and hitting you with the truth. If you're suing a video game company because your child's addicted to it, you're a shitty parent. It's not the video game company or the game itself's job to do your parenting for you. You're just a shit parent. Everyone involved in this class action lawsuit against Epic is a certified shitty parent. There's a thing called parenting that is apparently lost these days because iPads and video games, most parents just give them an iPad and let them go fucking horse around on YouTube and then get mad if they see Elsa sucking Spider-Man's dick. Like all of a sudden they're surprised and outraged and it's YouTube's fault because they did a bad job raising their son or daughter. It's your fault as a shitty parent. Also, anyone who starts their statement on Twitter, Facebook, or Reddit with "as a parent" followed by your opinion, I immediately write you off as just totally fucking useless to the conversation as a parent, as if being a parent makes you an expert on anything at all. Oh, well, I personally, as a parent, believe that building cars is super easy, but dangerous. Oh, so you're a mechanic. No, but I have 9 kids. As a parent, how fucking useless. What a nothing burger of a statement. Fucking half the parents don't even vaccinate their kids anymore because they read something on Facebook from an obscure Facebook group where one person's daughter got vaccinated and turned into a werewolf, and now all of a sudden they refuse to accept science all of a sudden. It's just fucking stupid. Being a parent doesn't make you smart. It doesn't immediately raise your intelligence or anything like that. It's just, what does a flat earther, a climate change denier, and an anti-vaxxer have in common? They can all be parents. Does that mean that all of a sudden now they're smarter than what they were before? No, it's just a stupid statement as a parent. Stop fucking using that. But what I'm talking about in regards to Fortnite specifically is, as a parent, you can take the goddamn game away from your kid if you think they're being too involved in it or addicted to it. Spend time with your kid, God forbid. Do some other things with your son or daughter besides let them sit in front of the screen tearing away at their, ligaments, getting muscular atrophy from day in, day out, shoveling junk food in their face and playing a video game. If you want to change that, you can take that power for yourself and do something with them to get them away from the game. That's totally on your right as a parent. You don't have to have a perpetual babysitter with your iPad or their video games. You're in control of that medium for them. So be a fucking parent and stop trying to sue video games and change things that you're not even involved in yourself. It's so frustrating. Parents suck these days. Not all of them, obviously. I'm not speaking in absolutes. But this super vocal group of parents, mumsnet.net.net, whatever these fucking stupid forums are where these lunatics interact with each other and spitball the most brain-dead garbage 18th century ideas. It's just harmful to just everyone around. I don't even want to use the word society because it's just a fucking meme word, but it's applicable in this case when talking about these parental assassins that target anything, put in their crosshairs anything that's fun because they're afraid that their son or daughter might not be age appropriate for it, so thus they have to get rid of it entirely. Like fucking R-rated movies they'll go after because they have children. Just don't bring your goddamn kid to the R-rated movie. I don't know why you have to be mad at Joker for existing just because you have a 4-year-old. Not like you're forced and obligated by law to bring that 4-year-old to the movie theater. Stupid fucking parents, man. It's frustrating. And this Fortnite thing really made me just pretty upset about it. I don't give that much of a fuck about Fortnite, obviously. I don't really play it. And by really play it, I mean I haven't played it in like a year and a half. But it's just so dumb to compare a video game to drugs and real addictions like cocaine, heroin, and shit like that. Because as a parent, you're in control of that addiction. You can immediately kick that addiction for your kids. There's no video game withdrawals where they're going to be scratching at their neck, throwing poop on the walls, and just going buck wild because they can't play Fortnite. And if they do, that's called a temper tantrum, and it's a pretty normal thing with growing up, and you need to learn how to combat that as a parent. So just be a fucking parent. Stop blaming the internet and video games for your lack of willingness to be present in your child's life. You shit-ass parents. That's it. See ya. What's up, everybody? It's Critical. Recently, I've made a lot of videos on really shitty Kickstarter products and crowdfunding products in general, and I've seen countless of crowdfunding products that are just truly abysmal, like pure camel urine that will not only raise your GPA, but also spot reduce your abdominal fat, just all kinds of nonsense. However, this is objectively the worst crowdfunding project in current times, definitely the most dangerous as well. I've been following this story for a little bit, so I'm going to give you this story in a nutsack. This is a crowdfunded submarine, and it's seen modest success. It's performed what it was supposed to pretty decently. Obviously not up to military standards or James Bond standards or anything like that, but this shit worked for the most part. It could dive, it could resurface, you could play checkers and chess on board, maybe perhaps even a rousing game of Old Maid while you're underwater on this crowdfunded submarine. It did a decent job. Now, a journalist named Kim Wall went on board this vessel with the creator of this. Now, while on board this vessel, it sank. And not in the way that it's designed to do. It's a fucking submarine. You would expect it to sink. You would hope it would sink. But this shit sank like the fucking Titanic. This was a catastrophe. Peter Madsen, the creator, survived. But Kim Wall was reported missing. According to Peter Madsen, initially, he said he had already dropped her off and she wasn't on board. Something must have happened. Maybe she was abducted by ninjas. Who fucking knows? Peter Madsen washed his hands of it, and that was the end of that, and they were looking for Kim Wall. Now, since it's a submarine, and an amateurish one at that, they could find where it sank. So they found the submarine. They're not releasing details about what they're finding inside. But in the midst of finding this submarine, Peter Madman has changed his story and said Kim Wall did die on the sub of an accident just moments before it sank. He also said the sub went down in 30 seconds and there was nothing he could do to stop it. So that seems a little suspicious. It goes down in 30 seconds, somehow Peter Madsen has time to escape, meanwhile Kim Wall's already been killed by some type of accident. What fucking accident happened there, Peter? You what, like a fucking hatchet to the face accident? That kind of shit happens all the time, I guess. But naturally, the speculation is Peter Madsen killed Kim Wall aboard the submarine and then sank the submarine to cover it up, hoping that they wouldn't find it. But they found it, so he's changed the story. And after this story was posted on Gizmodo, they updated it because authorities found a female torso in the water where Peter Madsen said he dropped her off. So maybe he was telling the truth. Maybe he did drop her off where he said he did, albeit not in one piece since it was just a fucking torso. But regardless, this lunatic is up to some type of foul play. Now, I think I can say with a pretty high level of certainty that this is the first publicly crowdfunded murder thus far. And it's definitely going to be a difficult crowdfunding execution to top. People that want to copy this are going to have their work cut out for them. I feel like most people would go on Kickstarter and ask for $1,000 just so that way they could buy a rifle and some ammunition to kill somebody. Peter Madsen took this 10 steps further. 20,000 leagues under the P-ter. This man built a motherfucking submarine all off the funds of just random people's money wanting to see this guy build a submarine. And then he tested it for years to ensure that it worked. That way a journalist would be interested in checking it out and writing a story on it. Then he kills the journalist during their voyage and then sinks it. An absolute fucking lunatic. Unbelievable. So I think it wasn't a exaggeration to say that this is objectively the worst crowdfunding project that has ever been successfully crowdfunded. Absolutely fucking horrible. And hopefully Peter Madsen gets charged with more than just negligent homicide. This definitely seems like a murder and then trying to cover it up. But, you know, the story's still developing, and that's it. So yeah. Hello again. So the story kept developing. The torso of the woman did indeed belong to Kim Wall, confirmed by DNA testing. They also found Kim Wall's blood on the submarine. In addition, all of the air in the torso was squeezed out and some metal was attached to it, obviously with the intention of keeping it underwater. But you know what? Let's go ahead and create a scenario in which Peter Madsen is telling the truth. Kim Wall does die on the sub. She walks into the mess hall, slips on some of Peter Madsen's cum, falls face first into a guillotine which accidentally triggers and decapitates her. Could happen to anyone. Just one of those standard submarine accidents. So what's Peter Madsen gonna do? Well, naturally, he's gonna do what any sane man would do. He goes and grabs the hacksaw that every good submarine seaman never leaves home without, and he cuts off the arms and legs, and then he disposes of them, attaching metal to each part, ensuring they do not float and hopefully aren't found, and then he sinks the submarine. All just because this was one big accident. Yeah, you know, that makes sense. That makes a whole lot of fucking sense, Peter. I really hope this man gets the maximum possible sentence. I really hope the next dive he makes is face first into some prisoner's asshole. Just absolutely evil, by all accounts. I don't think there's any possibility at all in which Peter Madsen is innocent in this shit. It's just absolutely fucking disgusting. So yes, the worst crowdfunded project in history. That's it. See ya.